Hey guys, what is up? Alex Scott here with Consordini.com. Thank you so much for checking out another one of our gear review videos. Today we're taking a look at another unit from the Volca line from Korg. This is the Volca Sample. Now we have another video on the channel of the Volca Beats, and this unit is similar after a fashion, but definitely has some really unique features. This is personally my absolute favorite of the Volca line. It's a drum machine, but it is so much more than that. And just like with the Volca Beats and all of the other Volca modules from Korg, the whole key thing here is portability, ease of use. This thing is so tiny, it's so lightweight, it's so easy to pack. It can go anywhere at all you want it to go. If you're on tour, if you're in the car, even if you're just hanging out in a living room, you don't want to have to bring a drum machine that requires external speakers and power supplies and all this kind of stuff. Grab a Volca, toss it in your backpack, toss it in your bag, or just leave it laying around the house, and anytime inspiration strikes, you'll be able to pick it up and start making super cool beats. But again, the Volca Sample is a little bit more than just your typical drum machine, because it is a totally sample-based instrument. You have a lot of other types of samples, melodic samples, hits, all this kind of stuff that you can fully manipulate and incorporate into your grooves. It is by far the most flexible Volca, at least in my mind. I feel like you can definitely do the most with it and get the most interesting sounds out of it. So let's go ahead and move the camera over, and I'm going to show you guys a few kind of a quick demo of the sample and show you guys some really cool stuff that you can do with it. So let's check it out. Okay guys, here is our Korg Volca Sample. We've got it all hooked up through its little headphone jack to an external recorder. Go ahead and check out what this guy sounds like and just how incredibly versatile it can be. Something like the Volca Beats, another, the more drum machine oriented thing from the Volca line, it's a great little unit. It's a great sounding little drum machine, but it is a little bit limited in terms of what it can do with the kind of variation on each sound. Not so with the Volca Sample, because the Volca Beats, they really focused on trying to make as much of it analog as they could. The Volca Sample is all digital, so while you lose a little bit of that analog quality, it more than makes up for that in usability and versatility. Now, you may notice mine is just a little bit dirty. That's because I've been dragging it all over the place for like 3 years now and using it constantly. So do excuse that, but it's a good thing in its own right. So instead of having specific like kick, snare, anything like that, we just have parts, and we have 10 options here. Or not parts, but just samples, basically. Right now I have it set up as kind of a normal kit, but let's just go through and see just how many options there are. We've got a ton of kick drums. Now we're moving into snare drums, claps, snaps, hats, cymbals, toms of all sorts and sizes, tambourines, all that kind of stuff. But once we get up into these high numbers, we get into some more melodic type samples. And it comes with some really incredibly cool sounds. But just for now, we'll get into those in a second here. Let's just start with a good basic kick drum. Now, we have a ton of controls here. All of these controls are for whatever sample you have pulled up currently. So when we go over to a second sample, all of these are going to reset, and we can use them to edit the second sample. But for this kick drum, we can pick where within the sound we're starting, where we're cutting off. We have a high cut option, speed control with a finer control, attack and decay on our pitch change. So we can use this basically like an envelope generator for pitch. And then we have kind of an amplitude thing. This is also a stereo unit. As you can hear, you can pan stuff back and forth. So let's get a nice kick sample going on here. And then we can go into step mode. volume there. And boom, we've got a kick drum. Now, we've got this tambourine sound, but I want it to make it shorter. We can either do that by speeding it up or by bringing in the decay on our amplitude envelope. Super cool, right? Now we got a nice little clap sound. That's probably fine as it is. That's kind of a slick little beat. Now this is an interesting air sound, but I want to use it as a hi-hat. This is what's so cool about this unit, is we can take that, it's like an air or a breath or a wind kind of a sound effect, and turn it into a hi-hat sound. And boom, just like that, we've got a super cool hi-hat. Now last, we've got this really interesting, it's kind of a Rhodes chord or something. So we can pitch it up, make it a little bit shorter. And then we can and now we have this incredibly cool almost melodic or kind of sample element to our beat. And of course, you know, we can pitch match it or key match it, so whatever else we're working on. Now the other super cool thing that we have on this unit, not only can we work with these melodic samples like this, we also have reverb. And we can assign our reverb to these different elements. I now have reverb going, and it's a great sounding reverb, on the snap and all of the other elements except the kick drum, because we don't want to muddy things up with reverb on a kick drum, right? And we can pull it all the way out and make it super wet if we want. That's incredibly cool. We also have a swing control. If we want to make it just a little bit funkier. Super cool. And then we also have analog isolator, which are just sort of top and bottom filters. So we can give it kind of a scooped sound. We can make it super dark and super bassy, real thin and kind of filter sweepy. It really just lets you change the tone of the unit overall a ton. So as you guys can see by now, this thing is insanely powerful. My favorite thing to do with it is you can take a single sample like that, and almost turn it into like a kick drum type sound. And you could take one little sound like that, and the modulation tools and sampling tools in here are so powerful. You could build an entire groove out of just different iterations of the same basic sound, and start with like a Rhodes, you know, one of these Rhodes or piano hits or something that are built in, and turn that into your kick drum, your snare drum, your hi-hats, everything, and build a whole groove out of it. You can get there. Now we've turned this Rhodes into like a low tom kind of a sound. It's just so incredibly cool. And you can get some really unique sounding grooves out of it when you start to get into stuff like that. Just such a powerful unit. And it's like, 8 inches wide or whatever. It weighs less than a pound. It'll slip in a backpack. Just incredible. I cannot commend Korg enough for bringing these Volca devices to market. They're just absolute must-haves for any producer. Alrighty guys, there you go. Volca Sample. Super simple, super easy, super compact, and incredibly versatile tonally. You've got so many different options, so many different sounds that you can get out of it, and you can really make some incredibly cool beats. My favorite thing to do, as we talked about in the demo, is you can take any single sample and make an entire kit out of it by using all of the pitch change functions, all the stuff in here. You could take like a Rhodes sound and turn it into a full beat. I just think that that's so cool. It's such a unique way to approach making a drum machine or a beat machine like this. So huge props to Korg. The Volca Sample is the first Volca that I bought. It's my absolute favorite. It goes with me anywhere that I travel all around the world. It sits around my house and I pick it up and create new beats with it constantly. It's just a phenomenal unit. So I know a lot of other people have done reviews on the Volca stuff. I just wanted to kind of give you guys my take and my perspective on it. If you are interested in picking one of these up, there is going to be a link down in the description where you guys can go ahead and buy one on Amazon. That will also help support the channel a little bit, so we would really appreciate it. But I would also love to hear you guys' thoughts on the Volca Sample or anything else in the Volca line. Do you guys like them? Do you hate them? Whatever you guys may think, whatever opinions you may have, please leave them in the comment section down below. We love hearing from you guys. So it's much appreciated. Again, my name is Alex Scott with Consordini.com. Thank you guys so very much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we will see you in the next video.